name is Douglas. I'm an SMU alumni. After I graduated from SMU, I got a job at Barclays in Hong Kong. So I joined the equity derivatives trading desk. My whole career then in the banking world was between Hong Kong and Tokyo. So that lasted about 7 years. Learned a lot there. I think I was quite fortunate through my education at SMU that prepared me for this. Then in 2012, unfortunately I found out that my dad fell ill. That's when I left my job in Japan and I came back to take care of him. Spent about a year with him before he passed on. During that period of time, I observed his work and his business, and I made a realization that this industry had a lot of ways that it could be improved on. And that's what inspired me to come back and take over. It was that point of time that I wanted to come in and not just do insurance like what it has been, but the goal has always been to revolutionize and change the industry. This industry is very manual, and I think one other thing is it's very transactional. I realized it wasn't customer focused, and I really thought that that has to change. So with coming in, I would say a lot of what I did is focusing on the customer experience, more so than closing a trade and stuff like that. We have a very fanatical approach towards how we view customer service. Incidentally, one of my idols, which is this person called Tony Su, he was the founder of Zappos, which got acquired by Amazon for $1 billion. What I learned from him is that when you focus on the customer and empower employees to be able to attend to all of the customers' needs, everything else falls into place. Employee empowerment leads to employee satisfaction that addresses the customer needs. Customers are happy, and then ultimately you're going to get more business, recurring business. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I took a lot of inspiration from his writings and his books, and I think that has helped us a lot. Having some form of capability in terms of technology helped. Our system was cloud-based, people were able to work from home, and during the period of COVID, of circuit breaker, we were fortunate that we were still able to grow our business, surprisingly. When we look back and analyze on it, and we realize why this was so, there were increased queries and transactional volume coming of customers approaching us because their existing servicer was disrupted by COVID. So we didn't do better. We were able to function as usual, but our peers were not able to. So in that sense, we benefited from it. Taking lesson from that, when we came out of the circuit breaker, and even actually during the circuit breaker, all the ideas were already plotting in management's head, because we realized when post circuit breaker or post COVID, be it phase 2 or phase 3, we knew that the world has changed. How consumers purchase would have fundamentally changed, and we needed to be ready. When we went into phase 2 in late June to July, whatever we wanted to achieve in 2 years, we knew that we needed to do it now, immediately. All of our systems are moving to the cloud. We see an exponential trend of people purchasing online. We're definitely moving most of our investments into e-commerce. Maybe it's not very evident now, but I think that if you don't start now, and if you don't make a really abrupt change to how your organization thinks and how it conducts business, in a year or two's time, you're going to find yourself obsolete. So we are not taking it lightly. In fact, we are thinking that it is the catalyst that will change how our organization does its business. And a lot of drastic changes have to be made in terms of how the employees think, how the company thinks, and the technology that we use or the processes that we have to tackle all this. The students were wonderful and we benefited greatly. They were on the ball so much that they kept on pressing us for more data and information. One thing was obvious was they were very keen. I think what was very heartening to know was they were very interested in the subject matter. The way they follow up on the whole project showed their interest. So we're constantly being pushed to give more and more information, and they wanted to know anything and everything. The project we gave them was whether a digital aggregator platform was a viable proposition that we could look at. And they did a lot of research. when they came back to us, we were very impressed. They had all the scenarios covered of what was viable, the long-term viability of it, and in the short term, what we could do. So before we get to the final stage, and also for the here and now, what we should do to try to ready ourselves towards that future model. So it was very clear. They were very detailed. They cover a lot of aspects. They did research not just in Singapore, but also using overseas examples. They did not just apply a blanket in the Singapore context, but they took the local culture and business environment into consideration. So the final report was very detailed, and it was very, very useful for us. We're actually using it. It's one of our blueprint for how we're going to move forward in the next 1 year. They were so passionate and invested in this whole project. I would just comment that I don't think I'm just going to get that kind of passion or commitment if it was an external consulting firm. There was heart and soul put into it. We're very, very satisfied with the output that they produce. When I show my appreciation of how it has an impact on my company, I think all the more they are inspired by it. This loop is so powerful. It was a wonderful experience working with the students from UOB-SMU AEI, and I look forward to having more opportunities to work with them again or other students if possible. As mentioned before, it has been very useful for my organization, and I strongly encourage anybody given the opportunity to use this chance, because I think for a lot of SMEs like ours, we need accessibility to resources to grow, be it a consultancy project or just knowledge base. And a lot of us are struggling with our day-to-day businesses and not knowing where to go for resources. The UOB-SMU AEI is really a great resource for SME like ours.